Hi, I'm Dave.
I'm
This is
Gwen.
Gwen, and we're the Allens. We're fairly new to the community. We've been here for just under a year. I came as a geographic bachelor and was here for about 7 months before Gwen came down. And one of the important things for us was finding a good home church. So we found our church even before we found the house to buy. Took a map and put a string in it and drew a circle around the church and said we can find a house anywhere inside that circle. We were both raised in the church. I've been in the church since I was about 6 days old. We were both 19 when we got married, and when we were first married, shortly after we were married, I found myself in the service, and we did 22 years in the service. I say we because she might as well have been in the service.
We were at a point where the military said, "You're broke. You need to file bankruptcy, and you need to, go from there." And we said, no, we owe these bills and we're going to pay them. And that's when we had started paying a small amount, not the full 10%.
We found ourselves in a position where we were not tithing, though we both knew we should have, that we should be tithing, we weren't. Started out where we just gave 1%, at 1% of our paycheck. And we found that once we gave 1%, that it got to a point where we had money to give 2 and 3%, and then from there to 5%, and from 5% it pretty much jumped to 10%. And we found that even then, once we were giving 10%, it was like the more we gave, the more we had that came in.
We didn't have any extras in our family. I know growing up, we didn't raise it or can it, we didn't eat. And David and I have been blessed through his working in the military and jobs that I've had from time to time. The church noticed that our children were coming to church in the same clothes every Sunday. And they realized that we didn't come to the church dinners because we didn't bring anything, and we didn't go out to lunch because we didn't have the money. And one Sunday we had went home and we really weren't sure what we were going to fix for lunch. And the church came over with bags of clothes and food, more than we could eat in a month. So we knew then how important it was. And that led us to give more. Now that we have even more that we need, we give away things that are good.
God has blessed us in a manner that we could never have believed. We don't come from money, and don't consider ourselves to necessarily be part of money now. But God has blessed us to a point where we don't have to worry about where our next meal is coming from. And we know that there are a lot of folks out there that do. Giving to this type of a campaign will allow the church to be able to cover a broad area of needs within a community. Areas from things as simple as a food bank and supporting the efforts of the food bank, to supporting efforts with a clothes closet for those people who have a very immediate need right now. The folks that need food, the folks that need clothes, when they need it right now. The capital campaign is one that allows the church to be able to look into something like a gymnasium, to look into the ability to expand the physical facilities at the church to meet the needs of a growing community.
Have nice homes. In fact, we had built a retirement home. Beautiful 2,500 square feet home with 6 acres. And the church that we were at before, we held functions at our house actually, and everybody came over. But then moving here, we thought about the difference between what we wanted and what we needed. What we needed was a roof over our house. What we had wanted before was the big nice house in the nice, community. Sit down and look at what your needs are and what your wants are. There's a big difference between I need a meal and it'd be great to go out and eat 4 days a week and have steak and Burger King or Sonic and the milkshake after work every week, or maybe your cup of coffee. Why don't you set that aside for 1 month, those extras, and give it to God and see what you get back in return. see what you get back in return.